All right, so let's dive into this Indiana real estate market deep dive. We've got a listener who's thinking about buying a home in Indiana this year.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, they want to know if it's a good time to make a move. So we brought in the expert, Cara Conde from FC Tucker, to help us break it all down.
Oh, I've heard great things about Cara Conde.
She seems really enthusiastic about Indiana's potential in 2025, especially for buyers.
Like, she thinks it's prime time.
Seriously, I'm seeing all this talk about, low mortgage rates, maybe more homes becoming available, but is it all hype or is something actually happening?
Well, Cara Conde seems to think something's definitely up. She's predicting that home values in Indiana will steadily increase throughout 2025.
Okay, wait. Increasing home values always makes me a little nervous. Like, are we talking another housing bubble here?
Right, I get that. But Cara Conde, she's saying this isn't a bubble situation. It's sustainable growth, she says. And it's driven by a few things, like Indiana's economy is attracting new residents.
So people are actually moving to Indiana.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. More people means more demand for housing, which helps explain the growth.
Makes sense. So what's making Indiana such a hot spot all of a sudden?
Well, Cara Conde highlights a few things, particularly in the tech, healthcare, and manufacturing industries. Lots of job growth in those sectors, which means more people moving there for work.
So it's not just like speculation, there's actual economic stuff happening behind this.
Totally. Oh, and another thing, Cara Conde says we can expect to see more homes on the market this year compared to, like, the past few years.
Oh, okay. Now that's interesting. More homes for sale means more choices for buyers, maybe even a chance to negotiate a bit more, right?
That's what she seems to think.
Awesome. Okay, so more homes. And what about those mortgage rates? Everyone's been like freaking out about them being so high. Any relief in sight?
Well, Cara Conde is actually pretty optimistic about mortgage rates. She thinks they might dip a bit in 2025.
Okay, I'm trying not to get too excited yet. How much of a dip are we talking? And what would that actually mean for someone, buying a house?
Even a small decrease, like even just a percentage point or two, can make a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Lower rates could mean lower monthly payments. Maybe you could even afford some of those upgrades you've been wanting.
Okay, so should I just like wait it out? Wait for those rates to hit rock bottom?
That's tricky. Cara Conde's advice is to be ready.
Mm.
Be prepared to act when you see a good opportunity. No one can say for sure when those rates will be at their absolute lowest, but she says being prepared is key.
So how do I be prepared?
Get pre-approved for a mortgage now. That way you'll know exactly what you can afford and you won't miss out on a great deal because you're still, getting your finances sorted.
Yeah, that makes sense. Pre-approval is like getting all your ducks in a row, right? So potentially lower mortgage rates, more houses coming on the market. Starting to sound like Indiana's offering a pretty good deal for home buyers.
It really does seem that way, especially when you consider that Indiana offers, more house for your money compared to a lot of other states. Like, think about it. What might cost you, I don't know, a two-bedroom condo in some fancy coastal city could get you a four-bedroom house with a yard in Indiana.
Wow, that is a big difference. So we've got affordable housing plus the potential for those property values to go up. That sounds like a smart long-term investment.
That's exactly what Cara Conde is emphasizing. It's not just finding a roof over your head. It's about making a good financial decision.
I'm with you. Okay, so far, Indiana's checking a lot of boxes, affordability, a good economy, growing housing market. But Indiana's a big state. Where are people looking? Any hot spots?
Cara Conde actually pointed out a few places that are worth a closer look. Indianapolis, for one.
Oh, yeah, Indy.
Yeah, it's got that, vibrant city life a lot of people want. New businesses popping up all the time. Tons of community initiatives. There's like a real buzz there.
Definitely. I'm seeing a lot about Fort Wayne, too. What's going on there?
Fort Wayne's interesting. It's going through this whole revitalization thing. They're blending that kind of historic charm with modern stuff.
Yeah.
It seems to be attracting a lot of attention.
So whether you want the excitement of a city or the charm of like a historic area, Indiana's got options. But what about people who want something, I don't know, a little quieter? Maybe a smaller town with more of a community feel. Does Indiana have that too?
Totally. Cara Conde mentioned some smaller cities and towns that are really making a name for themselves. Bloomington, where Indiana University is, has a really cool arts and culture scene. And then there's Carmel, known for its like great schools and that close-knit community vibe. Lots of families love it there.
Okay, so big city excitement, historic charm, cool, smaller towns. Is there anywhere in Indiana that isn't booming right now?
It's funny, right? What's really neat about Indiana is that it truly offers so many different ways to live. Bustling city life, quiet suburbs, peaceful countryside. It's all there. That variety is a big part of what makes it so appealing.
It's like a choose your own adventure for finding the right community. Okay, so let's say I'm sold on Indiana. I've got my pre-approval. I know what I'm looking for. But are there any programs or resources that can help make this whole home buying process easier?
This is where Cara Conde really shines, I think. She's like a total advocate for her clients, goes above and beyond to help them navigate the whole thing. She's a total expert on the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority, or IHCDA for short.
IHCDA sounds official.
It is, but in the good way. They have programs specifically for first-time home buyers, which could be super helpful for our listener.
Okay, tell me more. What kind of programs?
Well, there's down payment assistance, which can be huge, especially when you're just starting out.
Down payment assistance. Oh, wow, that could be a game changer. What else?
They've got grants that can help with closing costs, too, which can make the whole process more affordable. And there's something called a mortgage credit certificate, or MCC, which is a special tax credit to help reduce those long-term interest payments.
Wow, so many programs. But I'm already feeling overwhelmed thinking about all the paperwork and figuring out if I qualify. Is that something Cara Conde helps with?
Absolutely. She walks her clients through everything, making sure they understand the programs, meet the requirements, don't miss out on anything. She also keeps them in the loop about uh, zoning changes and community development projects in the areas they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of insider info is invaluable.
Yeah, that's huge. So we've got potential dips in mortgage rates, a healthy housing market, a strong economy, lots of cool places to live, and programs to make it all happen. I'm starting to see why Cara Conde is so excited about 2025. Anything else I should be thinking about as I start this home buying journey?
There's one more thing Cara Conde really emphasizes: timing.
Timing, as in waiting for the perfect moment to buy.
Yeah, strategic timing, like, buying in the winter months when there aren't as many buyers out there. You might have more negotiating power, maybe get a better deal.
Interesting. So it's not just about finding the right house, it's about finding it at the right time. Are there other timing factors I should be thinking about?
Well, she also tells buyers to pay attention to what's happening in the economy.
Mhm.
Are interest rates expected to change? Are big companies moving into the area, which could drive up demand? Things like that.
Wow, so much to consider. It sounds like having an expert like Cara Conde in your corner is key.
Definitely. She knows her stuff, that's for sure.
All right, we've covered a lot in this first part of our Indiana real estate deep dive, and I'm feeling, I don't know, a lot more informed and a lot less intimidated by the whole thing. But I'm sure there's even more to uncover.
Oh, definitely.
Stay tuned for part 2 of this deep dive, where we'll keep exploring what makes the Indiana real estate market tick.
All right, welcome back to your personalized deep dive into the Indiana real estate market. We're picking up right where we left off, exploring what makes Indiana such a appealing place for home buyers.
Okay, I'm ready for more. Last time, we were talking about all the financial advantages of buying in Indiana, like potentially lower mortgage rates, the fact that, you get more house for your money. But at the end of the day, a home is more than just like an investment, right?
Exactly. It's got to be a place where you can, really put down roots, build a life. And that's something Cara Conde is like really big on. She gets that everybody's idea of home is different.
So, how does she help people find that? I mean, everyone's needs are so different.
She's a great listener. That's the first thing. She really takes the time to understand her clients' lifestyles, their priorities, what they're looking for long term. And then she uses that to guide them toward communities and properties that really match their vision.
So, it's not just about finding a house, it's about finding the right house for the right person.
Exactly. And Cara Conde, she's got a knack for, seeing the potential in a property, even if it needs a little work. She helps her clients imagine the possibilities, whether it's like fixing up a place to make it their own or finding a move-in ready gem that totally fits their style.
Yeah, that makes sense. Some people love a good fixer-upper project while others want to, just unpack and relax. Okay, so earlier we were talking about Indianapolis and Fort Wayne, but I'm really curious about those smaller cities and towns, What makes them special?
Well, a lot of them are seeing like a real resurgence, investing in their downtown areas, bringing in new businesses, creating these like vibrant cultural scenes.
Hmm.
It's not just about, the quiet life anymore. There's a lot going on.
So you can have like the peace and quiet of a smaller town, but still have access to, things to do, a sense of community.
Right. And there's often like a real sense of local pride, in those smaller towns.
Yeah.
People support their neighbors, their local businesses. There's a connection you might not find in a bigger city.
I can see the appeal in that, especially these days when everything feels so, fast-paced. But what about the practical stuff? Like if I move to a smaller town, am I giving up access to good schools, healthcare, things like that?
Not at all. Lots of these smaller towns actually have excellent schools,
Hmm.
and they usually have strong healthcare networks too. Plus, they're often within driving distance of larger cities, so you can still, access those things if you need to.
Okay, that's good to know. So let's say I'm convinced Indiana's the place for me. I've got my pre-approval. I've kind of narrowed down my search. What happens next?
This is where Cara Conde really takes over, guides you through the whole home buying process from, start to finish.
Walk me through it. What does that look like?
First, she helps you really fine tune your search area, taking into account things like your commute, school districts, how close you want to be to different amenities. It's not just about any house in any town. It's about finding one that, really fits into your life.
So she's taking a really holistic approach, looking at the whole picture.
Exactly. And once you've got that target area nailed down, she sets up a personalized search for you. No more spending hours scrolling through listings online. She sends you properties that match what you're looking for, like as soon as they hit the market.
That's a huge time saver. No more late nights on Zillow.
Right. And then comes the fun part, house hunting. She schedules the showings for the properties you like and goes with you on the visits. But she's not just like a driver, She offers her insights, points out things you might not notice on your own.
So it's like having a real estate expert whispering secrets in your ear as you look around.
Exactly. She knows what to look for, what questions to ask, and she can um, spot those red flags that you might miss if
Yeah.
you're not, in the business. She'll help you see the potential, even if a place needs a little work.
This is all sounding great, but I gotta say, the whole negotiation part always makes me nervous. I'm not exactly a tough negotiator.
Oh, I get that. A lot of people feel that way. But Cara Conde, she's a pro. She's great at advocating for her clients, helping them put together strong offers and, navigating those back and forth conversations with the sellers.
So instead of feeling like I'm, going into battle, she helps me approach it more strategically.
Exactly. She's got the skills, the experience, and she'll help you get the best possible outcome, without all the drama.
Okay, let's say my offer gets accepted. What happens then? I'm guessing there's still a ton of paperwork and legal stuff?
Oh, yeah, there's more to do. But Cara Conde doesn't just disappear once the offer is accepted. She's there for every step, guiding you through the closing process, making sure everything's, done right. She'll connect you with home inspectors, appraisers, mortgage lenders, make sure you're working with the best people.
So she's not just a real estate agent, she's like a project manager for my entire home buying experience.
Right. She's there to answer questions, calm your nerves, make the whole process as smooth as possible. She knows buying a house can be stressful, and she wants it to be a good experience for her clients.
I can see why she's got such a great reputation. She really goes above and beyond.
And you know what else sets her apart? She doesn't just, vanish once you close on the house. She's there for you even after you move in.
Really? What kind of support does she offer after the sale?
She's always available, Got questions, need advice, looking for local resources, cares your person. Need a recommendation for a plumber, an electrician? She's got you covered. Want to know about community events? She'll fill you in. It's not just a transaction for her. It's about, building relationships.
That's awesome, like having a built-in friend and guide in your new community.
Exactly. She wants her clients to be happy, you know, not just in finding the right home, but in building a good life in their new town.
Okay, we've talked about the practical side of buying a home in Indiana, but there's something else I want to touch on. Sustainability. It's important to me, and I know it is to a lot of people. So where does Indiana stand on, you know, eco-friendly living? Can I find a home that's good for the planet?
A great question. And yeah, more and more people are making that a priority. And the good news is Indiana's making some big strides when it comes to sustainability.
Tell me more. Like, what are they doing to promote eco-friendly living? Are there a lot of green building options?
You're in luck. There are a lot of builders in Indiana who are incorporating, sustainable practices, energy efficient appliances, solar panels, using green building materials. So yeah, you can definitely find homes that are, good for the environment and good for you.
Awesome. So you can have a beautiful, comfortable home that's also like eco-conscious.
Exactly. And it's not just the houses themselves, There are a lot of local initiatives and incentives to encourage eco-friendly living in Indiana. Some towns offer rebates, tax breaks for things like installing solar panels or making energy-efficient upgrades.
Wow. So Indiana is really like embracing the green movement. Is this something Cara Conde knows about? Can she help people find those eco-friendly homes?
Absolutely. She's up to speed on sustainable building and all those local incentives. She can definitely steer you in the right direction if that's, a priority for you.
I love that. So Indiana's not just affordable, it's got a good economy and it's taking care of the environment. But I gotta ask, are there any downsides, any challenges I should be aware of?
That's a good point. Indiana has a lot going for it, but there are like some things to keep in mind. For example, property taxes. They can vary a lot depending on what county you're in.
Oh, so it's not just about the price of the house, it's about those ongoing costs too.
Exactly. And another thing to be aware of is flooding. Some areas in Indiana are more prone to it than others. So if you're looking at a place near a river or lake, do your research, understand the risks. Cara Conde is really good at knowing those local details, helping her clients assess those risks.
That's a good reminder. It's easy to fall in love with a cute house on a lake, but you don't want to ignore those practical considerations.
Right. It's about, finding that balance between your heart and your head. And speaking of being smart, there's another thing about Indiana that's unique, the whole caveat emptor concept.
Caveat emptor. Sounds kind of scary.
It's just Latin for buyer beware. Basically, in Indiana, it's up to the buyer to really inspect the property and find any problems before making an offer. You can't just rely on the seller to disclose everything.
So even if a house looks great on the surface, I can't just assume it's all good?
Exactly. That's why it's so important to hire a good home inspector, someone who can really check things out and let you know if there are any potential problems.
Yeah.
Cara Conde works with a network of trusted inspectors, so you're in good hands.
Okay, so even though it's buyer beware, I'm not totally on my own. I've got Cara Conde and her team to help me out.
Right. She's your advocate, your guide, your protector throughout the whole process, making sure you have all the info you need to make, good decisions.
This is all so helpful. I feel like I'm really getting an insider's view of the Indiana real estate market with all its, quirks and details.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We want you to feel informed, confident, ready to tackle this market and find your perfect home.
This deep dive has been fantastic so far. We've learned about the benefits of the Indiana market. We've talked about, being careful and doing your due diligence. And we've learned how much working with someone like Cara Conde can really help.
And there's still more to come.
In the final part of your deep dive, we'll explore the more personal side of finding the right home. And we'll talk about some key strategies for navigating the Indiana real estate landscape in 2025. Stay with us. Okay, so welcome back to the final part of this Indiana real estate deep dive. We've talked about a lot, right? The market, affordability, being smart about inspections, working with an expert like Cara Conde.
Definitely. Lots of practical stuff.
Yeah, but now I'm kind of curious about the more personal side of this whole journey. We've talked about finding the right house, but what about finding the right home? What does home even mean when we talk about it this way?
That's such a good question. And it's something Cara Conde, she really emphasizes this with her clients. Home is more than just, walls and a roof. It's a feeling. It's a sense of belonging, like a place where you can truly be yourself.
Right, like that feeling of being totally at ease where you can just exhale and be. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's different for everybody. For some people, home might be a busy city loft, full of energy and creativity. For others, it might be a quiet cabin in the woods, like a place to escape and connect with nature.
Now, there's no one right answer. It's about finding what feels right for you.
Yeah, finding what resonates.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to really tune in to your intuition during this whole process. Trust your gut feelings and be open to possibilities you might not have even considered.
So, okay, let's say I'm trying to find that perfect Indiana home. What can I do to connect with that feeling beyond just, looking at how many bedrooms a place has or what it costs?
Cara Conde, she has her clients really think about their values. What's important to them, what makes them happy, what kind of environment do they do best in? Do they need a sense of community, or do they prefer peace and quiet? What kind of lifestyle are they looking for?
I like that. It's like creating a vision board for your life and then finding a home that fits into that picture.
Exactly. And once you have that, that clearer understanding of what you want, then you can start to look for a home that matches those things.
Okay, so I've done my soul searching. I've got my vision board. But how do I actually like translate that into finding a specific place?
This is where your intuition really comes in. Pay attention to how you feel when you're looking at houses. Do you feel like peaceful, excited? Do you feel a sense of possibility?
Like a gut feeling, a little voice saying, this is it.
It can be. You might even notice like physical sensations. Maybe your shoulders relax. You take a
Yeah.
deep breath. You start smiling for no reason. It's
Huh.
like your body's telling you you're in the right spot.
It's like walking into a party and knowing you're going to have a good time.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to like really be present when you're, touring houses. Don't just walk through the checklist. Stop, take it all in, feel the energy of the place.
Like it's a first date with a house, seeing if there's chemistry.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to like let go of those ideas you had in your head. Maybe you thought you wanted a modern farmhouse, but then you walk into a cozy bungalow and it feels right, you know? Cara Conde always tells her clients, sometimes the best homes are the ones that surprise you.
I love that. So be open to the unexpected.
Definitely. Okay, but what if you're stuck between two houses? Like they both look great on paper, but neither one is giving you that home feeling.
Yeah, what do you do then?
Well, if that happens, I'd say spend some time alone in each house. Bring a book, make some tea, just hang out. See how
It's
you feel when you're in the space by yourself.
like a solo date with each house.
Right. Pay attention to the sounds, the light, the energy. Does it feel welcoming, inspiring,
Hmm.
or does it feel, I don't know, a little off?
Listen to those little cues.
Exactly. Cara Conde, she often tells her clients to like journal about their feelings after they've been in a house. Sometimes writing it down helps you, sort it all out.
That's a good idea. Okay, we've talked about trusting your gut, spending time in the houses, feeling the energy. Any other like tips for finding that home feeling?
Here's one that might sound a little weird. Talk to the house.
Wait, talk to the house out loud?
Yeah. Tell it what you're looking for, what you want your life to be like, your hopes and dreams. Some people think houses have energy that they can like sense what you're thinking.
So like putting your intentions out there.
Exactly. And you might be surprised by what you feel in response. Maybe you'll feel like welcomed, or maybe you'll feel, I don't know, a little resistance.
So if I'm talking to the house, feeling the vibes, how do I know if it's like talking back?
Pay attention to your dreams. Do you have any vivid dreams about the house after you've been there? Do you feel drawn to certain rooms or features that could be the house, communicating with you on a deeper level?
So be aware of those like those intuitive nudges.
Exactly. And Cara Conde, she's totally open to these, these less traditional approaches. She believes finding the right home is about more than just, logic. It's about your heart, your intuition.
I love that. There's a little bit of magic to it.
Right. And sometimes the magic, it happens in the most unexpected ways.
Okay, wow. We've really covered it all in this deep dive. Market trends, those nitty-gritty details, even the emotional stuff. I feel a lot more prepared to start looking for a home in Indiana now.
That's great to hear.
Anything else you want to leave our listener with?
Just remember, all this info is super helpful, but the most important thing is to trust yourself. Trust your gut, listen to your heart, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Cara Conde is a fantastic resource. She's passionate about helping people find their perfect place.
I love that. And that's good advice for, just about anything in life. Trust your journey, be open to new things, and believe that, you'll end up where you're supposed to be.
And who knows, maybe that place will be in Indiana.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this Indiana real estate deep dive. We hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take that next step on your home buying journey.
And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination.